Welcome to What's Kickin' Columbia, the show featuring Columbia, Tennessee, the southern town with a kick. What happens when you put something down the drain? Assistant Director of Wastewater, Donnie Boshears, is here to tell you all about the process of keeping our water clean.
Hi, I'm Donnie Boshears. I'm the Assistant Director of the Wastewater Department for the City of Columbia. Today we're going to talk about how we take care of the wastewater that is generated from the citizens of Columbia, Tennessee. Although a lot of people don't think much about wastewater, it is a very important part of the infrastructure within the city. The wastewater generated in the City of Columbia is transported to the wastewater plant via 311 miles of sewer lines in conjunction with 25 pump stations. Once the wastewater reaches the treatment plant, the first step of the process carries away the solids. From there, the remaining water goes through the plant for further treatment. The further treatment of the water is a naturally occurring biological process that we take control of and speed up. From there, the remaining water is filtered and the water is then returned back into nature. Wastewater treatment is important to the citizens of Columbia because it prevents disease, smell, and also provides the citizens of Columbia with clean water. One of the largest concerns with wastewater treatment at this time is the use of flushable wipes. Flushable wipes, although you are capable of flushing them down the toilet, is not really a good idea. They don't biodegrade, they'll last forever, and they cause a lot of problems as far as stoppage goes. To find out more information about wastewater, you can give us a call here at the wastewater plant at 931-560-1001, or you can find us on the City of Columbia's website, columbiatn.com.
Adam Southern is back, this time to show us how Columbia became the dimple of the universe.
Hello, I'm Adam Southern, and this is another edition of Historic Columbia, Tennessee. Recently, I was asked why Columbia is known as the dimple of the universe. This is a nickname that people in Columbia have been using for our town for years. But it goes back many years ago to a fellow named John Trotwood Moore, who was a famous poet and Southern author who happened to live in Columbia, Tennessee. This was his home base. He covered a lot of horse races. He started collecting stories from the South and publishing these things. And he had published a book in the late 1890s called Stories and Songs from Tennessee. The stories in this book came from Murray County's history. A lot of interesting things that John Trotwood Moore had heard from locals over the years, he included in this book. So when he said that the Middle Basin was the dimple of the universe, people in Murray County knew he was writing about them. And being a local guy, he had probably made some speeches around town and said, you know, this is the dimple of the universe. And they just took it and ran with it. But the thing is, since he said that the Middle Basin was the dimple of the universe, there were other communities using the same nickname: Nashville, Fayetteville, Pulaski. I found references where all of them called themselves the dimple of the universe too. But the story takes a turn in the 19-teens when the United States Post Office declares that Columbia is the dimple of the universe. Now, they don't put out a press release or anything like that, but there is a letter sent to the poet, Dimple of the Universe, and it's posted that way. That was the address. Now, of course, that gets sent to the dead letter office in Washington, D.C. They don't know where to send this letter. Nobody knows where the dimple of the universe is. But one lady from Columbia was actually working in this Washington office, and she said, I know exactly where the dimple of the universe is. It's Columbia, Tennessee. So she sent that letter from Washington, D.C. to Columbia, and it became official. It's like a Miracle on 34th Street. When they said that Kris Kringle was Santa Claus, the post office said Columbia, Tennessee is the dimple of the universe. And since that time, it's been one of our official slogans, I think. If it's not official, it should be. Now, even though that is our name, what does it mean? A lot of people think, you know, what does dimple of the universe actually mean? Now, dimples are considered to be attractive, so we are an attractive part of the universe. And if you look at the geography of the middle basin that he was talking about, it's surrounded by the Cumberland Plateau, the Highland Rim. So it's really a dimple in the earth. It's a depressed area surrounded by high elevation. So it is literally a dimple in the geography of the universe. So this middle basin is the dimple of the universe, and I think Columbia, Tennessee is the capital of that dimple. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing about this nickname and how it came about. If you would like to read more, check out my blog at historicmurraycounty.com or come see me at the library. Thank you.
One of the most interesting sights in town is the Athenaeum. Here is a brief history of one of Columbia's crown jewels.
It's 1835 and Columbia's not even 30 years old. And where I'm standing today was nothing but farmland until Samuel Polk Walker, James K. Polk's nephew, decided that he would build a house. And this house later became the Athenaeum. Construction of the Athenaeum began in 1835, and Samuel Polk Walker, the man who commissioned the house, never lived in it. Instead, the first resident would be Reverend Franklin Gillette Smith, his wife Sarah, and their children. The Smiths made the journey from Lynchburg, Virginia to Columbia, Tennessee, so that he could become the first headmaster of the Columbia Female Institute. Reverend Smith was headmaster of the Columbia Female Institute until 1852, and that's when he decided to start his own school, the Columbia Athenaeum, which is where the house gets its name. The Athenaeum has 5 rooms on the first story. 3 of those are parlors, 2 are bedrooms, and upstairs is just 1 bedroom. But there's no interior stairwell, so to get to that upstairs room, you have to go outside and use the exterior stairwell to go up. This home was just one of the many buildings that made up the Athenaeum campus. Most of the school buildings sat to the south where the Murray County Board of Education is today. What makes the Athenaeum so unique in Murray County, not just in Murray County, but across Middle Tennessee, is its architecture. The architecture is called Moorish Gothic, and what makes it so special is the use of the Moorish arch. There are 6 Moorish arches on the front of the Athenaeum, and battlements on either side of the front portico. Now the wraparound porch goes around 3 sides of the home, and it also uses the Moorish arch, and the battlements continue all the way around the house. So it's a very unique site. In 1974, after the death of Miss Carrie Smith, the Smith family in Texas decided to donate this home to the Murray County Association for the Preservation of Tennessee Antiquities, better known as APTA. Now, since the 1970s, the Murray County APTA has owned and operated the Athenaeum as a historic site and museum, and it's also available for rentals. The APTA hosts a variety of events throughout the year to support the Athenaeum and its continued restoration. To find out more about the APTA or the Athenaeum, visit historicathenaeum.com.
Thanks for checking out What's Cooking Columbia. To find out more information, please visit columbiatn.com. We'll see you next time.